Mario Kart World, the game that online has brought up more divisiveness in the gaming community than one I've seen in a long time. This game, because of the price and because of what Mario Kart is just simply taken the internet by storm, and there are thoughts and opinions everywhere regarding this particular game. But now the Nintendo Switch 2 is actually here, and we are hands-on with Mario Kart World. So today I'm going to be reviewing Mario Kart World and talking about what I think of this game and if you should actually be excited about picking this one up if you haven't already. First and foremost, we are not talking about the price. Outside of this segment here, we are not talking about the price. I get it. It's $80. That's only if you bought the game physically or digitally. If you did not get the bundle, it was $80. But a lot of people did get the bundle and it was $50. And ultimately, price comes down to if the game is worth it to you. So if you find Mario Kart World to be worth $80 to you, more power to you. That's what matters most, not what everybody on the internet is saying. So that is all we're going to talk about in regards to price for this particular game. First and foremost, let's talk about the graphics. Mario Kart World went for a more cartoony, rounded design versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which personally I'm a big fan of. I like how this game looks. First and foremost, runs at 4K, 60 FPS. It's beautiful. It looks fantastic. The colors are vibrant. The environments are super nice to look at, and it is an absolutely stunning game. I'm a huge fan of the art direction that they went for with this particular game, and it looks fantastic handheld or docked. It doesn't matter. This game is just great. It is visually appealing. And you can really tell with Mario Kart World that Nintendo really wanted to make this kind of a love letter to Mario. Between all the environments that you can go through and all the different Easter eggs and stuff that you can find, all the Mario characters and enemies that are incorporated into this particular game, not to mention the fantastic soundtrack with remixes from many Mario games throughout history. This game is just perfect at encapsulating everything Mario and feels just right considering the fact that the 40th anniversary is coming up for Mario. So this game as a whole, it just, like I said earlier, feels like a love letter to Mario fans, and I am all about it. As a huge Mario Kart fan and a Mario enjoyer outside of Mario Kart, I absolutely love it. It just feels fun. I constantly am just driving around and then a track comes on and I go, oh my gosh, that's from this particular game. That's so cool that they incorporated this. So it just has that sort of like aha moment where you figure out what it's from or where a character's from. You're like, that's so cool that they were able to cram all of this into this particular game. I absolutely adore it. As far as the courses go for standard races, there are 32 tracks in total with 8 Grand Prix, and all the tracks look fantastic, and there's different variations of playing the tracks. You can play the tracks by playing through 3 laps on each track as per usual, or you can go from track to track and be able to drive through the open world or the map of Mario Kart World to get to the next race. And both of these are fun. Honestly, I was a little concerned about the driving from track to track, and I thought that might not be as engaging or as interesting as I was hoping for, but I actually ended up really enjoying it. It adds a different element to the races where there's these big straightaways and how you utilize your items to get through the massive crowd of players. Because Mario Kart World does have these 24 player races, there's so much happening at any given time, and item utilization feels so important in this particular game. So for me, I was hesitant about the track to track racing. I now have turned around on it and really enjoy it. And it's because of these different variations in the track that you get a lot of different course diversity, especially when playing online, because it goes randomly between the 3 laps on a course versus racing between the 2 courses. So it just adds this little element of surprise as to how you're going to be tackling each particular track, which I really enjoy. Not to mention, Mario Kart World is packed with characters and costumes that you can unlock either by racing or by the Kamek ability that you get from the item box. You use that, and if you get turned into a particular character, you then unlock that character to race as, which is really cool as well. So there's just so much to unlock. On top of that, there are the carts that you can unlock by collecting coins, much like you could in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and there's so many different carts that you could choose from, and mixing and mashing these with the different characters to see what fits best for your particular playstyle is incredibly satisfying. I do appreciate that they got away from the customizable carts. It was a cool concept. However, I felt that that just added too much, that just deterred a lot of players from actually playing the game. They built carts based on what they wanted their cart to look like rather than how it actually would perform in game, and that kind of deterred a lot of people from actually playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. My brother is one of those included, where he just was like, I don't want to build a cart. I just want to know what the cart stats is and be able to play and race accordingly. So he was not a fan of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for that reason, and he's actually excited to hop in and play some split screen Mario Kart with me with Mario Kart World. So that kind of element, I do appreciate that they just kind of moved away from the cart customization, and now it's just these standardized carts, which I'm a fan of. And there's a bunch of different variations, you know, there's the ATVs, there's the cars, there's the bikes, there's all that stuff that you expect from Mario Kart at this point, just you can't customize each cart. The big thing with Mario Kart World is we kind of got away from like the underwater and the zero gravity stuff that was in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's more grounded this time, but they did add a couple of new elements, and I think a lot of this stemmed from the fact that they have the free roam mode, where they wanted a way for you to be able to get around the free roam areas while being able to traverse the world differently than we have before in Mario Kart. And they added the wall riding and the grinding, and I think this is really where Mario Kart World stands apart from other Mario Karts, because this is a very tricky new thing to get the most out of. You can do it very easily, but to get the most benefit by getting the boosts and stuff off the grinding and the wall riding, that takes a lot of practice and a lot of mastery, and this is where the skill gap is going to come from in Mario Kart World. You could still enjoy Mario Kart World just fine if you're not good at either of these two things, but you're going to get so much more out of your races and do so much better if you get down these new mechanics, and they are a lot of fun. It feels incredibly satisfying when you pull off different maneuvers by going from a grind to a wall ride and then jumping onto the course to then get another boost. It feels really, really cool, and it opens up the tracks to different sorts of shortcuts that you can find along the way, and it's just an incredible new development in the game that I have been enjoying immensely. I'm still trying to get down the wall ride. The grinding's not as big a problem for me, but the wall riding is a little bit tricky for me personally. I'm still trying to master it, but I'm having a blast doing it. I absolutely love it. Now, as far as the game modes that are concerned in Mario Kart World, we have the standard Grand Prix where you go through and you race between the tracks, and we've already talked about this very briefly, but like I said, there are 8 Grand Prix, 32 tracks in total, and a lot of the Grand Prix consist of you racing the first track with the 3 laps and then racing between the tracks for the subsequent races, and it's a lot of fun. It's just pretty much standard Mario Kart there. Now, the mode that I have the most issues with is the free roam mode. Now, I will say that I feel like a lot of people got a little overexcited for the free roam mode. They've always said it was free roam. They did not say this was open world, and I think a lot of people got it in their heads that there was going to be something new and exciting that they hadn't already shown us about the free roam area. And to me, it always just seemed like we were going to get what they showed us. That is the P-switches that have these challenges that you can complete that have varying levels of difficulty that you basically go through and you try to get to the finish line before the timer runs out with random obstacles thrown in your way. And while these are fun, the rewards for these don't seem to be super enticing, at least to me. They give you these decals that you then can apply to your carts that give you a little bit of creativity and customization to the carts that you're racing with. But for me personally, I'm not particularly invested in unlocking these decals. I can't throw as many of them on a cart as I want. So for me, they're fun to do, but it's not something I've invested a ton of time into doing. I've played a lot of Mario Kart World, and I have not put near any time into the free roam option. I checked it out initially. I did a handful of P-switches. I mean, these P-switches are everywhere. So if you're into it, you can do so many P-switches because this world is massive. But I just really am not enjoying that. And then the other side of it is the Peach medallions, and these are scattered throughout the world. You can find them all over the place, and these too give you decals. Now, I will say this, I haven't done all of them, so I don't know if there's this secret shiny object at the end of the road where if you complete all of these or find all the Peach medallions, you're going to get some special character unlock, and I'm sure we won't hear about that for some time still if there is something at the end of that road. But as it sits right now, it's just not something I'm particularly enjoying. Now, that's not me just crapping on free roam. I think free roam is really, really cool because of the stuff that I talked about earlier, the fantastic world that they've built here, the awesome soundtrack, I can vibe. I mean, I love just getting in there and just driving around, checking out the different environments, listening to the music. That part I really enjoy because this game just looks so good, and just listening to the tracks, it's a good way to just relax. If you're sitting in voice chat or on Discord with somebody and you're just hanging out, this is kind of fun. And I will say this as well about free roam. You can do it with friends, and I think there is some level of fun that can be had there because of the fact that you could come up with these interesting little mini games, fan-made mini games where you play tag or hide and seek or something in the free roam. That could be really cool. So I definitely think that over time the free roam is going to get more interesting based on the community around Mario Kart World, but for the stuff that they actually offer in game, I'm just not sold on it at the moment. And this could change with updates. They could add some stuff that make things a little more interesting in the free roam areas with DLC or free updates. There's stuff they could do to improve upon that. But as it sits right now, this is probably my least favorite part of Mario Kart World. Now we're going to move on to the more positive side of Mario Kart World. That is the Knockout Tour. This is easily, and I say this without even thinking twice about it, the best thing that has ever been added to a Mario Kart game. This is the new game mode that they introduced where 24 racers race through 6 of the tracks without stopping, and every time you hit a new checkpoint, the last 4 people in the race are knocked out. This is a Mario Kart Battle Royale, and I love it. This is so addicting. I streamed it yesterday and played a ton, and getting that victory feels so satisfying. It is so awesome because of the chaos of the 24 racers in this. If you get hit by one item, you could go from first place to 24th place so incredibly quickly that it's just there's never a dull moment in these races, and they are beyond fun. I am hooked on this. This is so much fun that I really cannot put into words how huge this game mode is for Mario Kart. This is going to be the game mode that people talk about with Mario Kart World because it is just so addicting, and I cannot wait to see what kind of new iterations they add, because I'm expecting fully that Mario Kart World is an evergreen game that they continue to update and support, whether it be through free updates or DLC content, that they continue to update and support, add new tracks, add new variations of the Knockout Tour. I cannot wait to see how Knockout Tour changes when new stuff gets added to Mario Kart World. It is by far and away my favorite part of this game that makes this game, in my opinion, worth every penny you spend on it. I am hooked on Knockout Tour, and I cannot emphasize enough how good it is. Another thing as far as game modes is concerned is time trials are available in this game. You can race through the tracks and get the best time. This is never something that I've been particularly interested in doing. I don't really care about getting time trials done or seeing my best time. I prefer racing online with other people, but time trials is there if you're interested, which I know a lot of people do enjoy time trials, and there's a big part of the community that likes that. So it's there, and that's exciting for people who enjoy that. The final thing to talk about is battle mode as far as the game modes are concerned. And battle mode is a little different from what you expect in previous Mario Kart, mainly because there's just less game modes to choose from. This game only features balloon battle and coin runners. In coin runners, obviously you're just collecting coins to see who has the most at the end of the match, and in balloon battle it's standard. You get hit with an item, you lose a balloon. When you're out of balloons, you're out of the game. That's all there is, and there are 8 different tracks that you can pick from to play the balloon battles, and this is fun. I have no issue with the battles. I wish there were a couple more options. I particularly remember the star runner or the cookie runner one from, I think it was the GameCube, where you held it, and the longer you held the item, that was what determined if you won the game or not. I liked that game mode. It was kind of like a King of the Hill style game mode to try and just protect that cookie or that star. I forget exactly what it was in Double Dash, as long as possible. I really liked that particular battle mode, but to me, battle mode is not something that I hop into a ton with Mario Kart, so it's something that I just kind of am not particularly worried about having less options in, because it's something I just don't interact with a ton. But I can understand people wanting more out of this game mode, because when I did hop into it for this review, I was left wanting a bit more options. Now, there is also online mode, and I really like the online mode. You can do this single player or 2-player. You can do it split screen and play online with somebody sitting on the couch next to you, which I do appreciate, because me and my wife will probably sit there and race people online and have a good time doing that. But I've been playing a ton of online, whether it be the Grand Prix mode, where I'm just doing the versus races and going through the different tracks. That's a lot of fun. Or or Knockout Tour, where I've spent the majority of my time racing online. It is fantastic to be able to hop in with a bunch of online players and get these competitive races going, and there is a ranking system. Depending on your placement in these races, you'll get points at the end that then increase or decrease your rating and be able to get harder and harder opponents based on the matchmaking system. I really enjoy this. I don't know how well the matchmaking system actually works. I haven't really been paying attention to who has what points when we get into a race, but regardless of that, it's just a ton of fun being able to race online and enjoy these lobbies with people. And I will say also, there is a private lobby option, which is a lot of fun because you can get your Discord community together, your group of friends together, whatever you want to do, and be able to race with 24 people in that lobby. You can get a full lobby of 24 racers to have a full race of online multiplayer in these private lobbies, which is fantastic. We were doing this last night. I was playing with some homies from the Discord, and we were having a great time playing Knockout Tour. Obviously, we didn't have 24 people, but we had enough people, and then we just filled the rest with bots and turned the bots on hard mode, and we were having such a good time. So I really like this aspect of Mario Kart. Being able to have a full lobby of 24 people is massive, especially for having communities that you're a part of. Being able to hop in and play with everybody, that is freaking awesome, and I absolutely love it. I will say the lack of tournament mode is a little odd in this particular game. I don't know why there's not a tournament mode so people can actually set tournaments up and organize tournaments. I feel like that definitely needs to be added in an update, and it's missing in this particular game. But as of right now, it's not the biggest deal, especially because we are at the launch of the Switch 2, so there's not as many units out there as later down the road. I could see in a couple months them doing a DLC update or a free update, adding a character or something, and also adding tournament mode when the adoption rate of the Switch 2 in Mario Kart World is a little increased. That makes a little more sense to me. Let this game get in the hands of people, let them figure out the new controls and the new gameplay mechanics for Mario Kart World, and then add the tournament mode a little bit later down the road. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I can understand 100% the sentiment of it not being there now and being disappointed by that. It's just something that I definitely think could be added down the road fairly easily. So all in all, Mario Kart World is fantastic. I absolutely love this take on Mario Kart. It definitely changes up how races are played compared to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I also put a ton of time into. I'm someone that loves to hop in and race online, and with these new options and this new gameplay mechanic of wall riding and grinding, there's so much for me to learn and master with this Mario Kart that I didn't have with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It was mainly just learning the tracks and learning the racing with the particular kart setup that I liked. This game has so many more elements that I have to get down and master that will just improve my play over time, that I can see myself dumping even more hours into this particular Mario Kart than I did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I think this is a great game to have as the launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2, because it not only brings in the hardcore gamers like myself who love playing games like Mario Kart and love that competitive side of it, but also the casual gamers who can just hop in and enjoy Mario Kart for what it is on like 50cc like my wife does. So I am really happy with Mario Kart World. I think it's a fantastic game, and I think it's something you definitely need to pick up on the Nintendo Switch 2. Are there improvements that they could do to this game? 110%. We talked about free roam, we talked about the lack of tournament mode, we talked about needing more battle modes in this game, but as the game sits right now, I still think this game is a fantastic offering and has tons of content for what it is at this moment. And like I said, I think this is the evergreen game of the Switch 2 generation. I don't think we get another Mario Kart on Switch 2. I think this lasts the entire life cycle of the Switch 2, and we just keep seeing content updates added over time. So I'm excited to see what the future of Mario Kart World looks like, and I'm keen to see what you guys have to say in the comments below, because that is it for this particular video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like and comment for more videos like this in the future, because it also helps me out, helps the video out, helps the channel out immensely. Subscribe for more Nintendo Switch 2 reviews and content coming very soon in the future. I've got tons of stuff planned. Since it is the launch of the Switch 2, tons of stuff is on the way, so make sure you're subbed for that. But until next time, peace.